को कोई समस्या है हिंदी और इंग्लिश दोनों में या केवल इंग्लिश में, तो वो मुझे बता सकते हैं. There will be no problem for me. I can speak in both the languages. So shall I start with?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So as I told you that my topic is technology, human rights, and right to access the internet. And of course, you'll find that the entire lecture is divided in 3 parts. That is technology, human rights, and then a right to access the internet, and what are those emerging rights through this technology and the use of the internet, which are affecting the human being in a positive way or in a negative way. So first of all, this is the human rights. We all know these are the rights which are inherent to all the human beings. हर किसी को ही ये प्राप्त हैं. And the simple reason that we all are entitled to enjoy our human rights is that we are human. And by virtue of being born in the human race, the rights which are known as the human rights are available to each one and everyone. And these are the universal rights. एक सार्वभौमिक जिसको कहते हैं, ये उस तरीके के अधिकार हैं जो हमको मानव जाति में पैदा होने के कारण प्राप्त हैं. So इसमें किसी भी तरीके की कोई discrimination nahi hai. There is equality at all levels as per these human rights are concerned. And if we see about the human rights, then there are international human rights instruments which are to protect the human rights of the human being. And these international instruments are they are known as the treaties, they are known as the declarations, they are known as the conventions. Alag-alag tarike ke documents hain internationally which are available, and these documents are just to protect the human rights of the human being. And if we see that what is a treaty, then treaty is simply a formally signed and validated agreement between the states. Because it is in the international term, the state is used for the countries, independent countries, not the state like UP, Bihar and Madhya Pradesh like. So when we talk about the human rights at international level, and when we talk of the states, then that is the country. So a treaty is something which is signed formally and which has been validated also as an agreement between the two states or between the more states. So this simply lays out the specific rules on how the state will conduct its affairs on a particular issue. कैसे वो काम करेगा अगर उसने कोई treaty sign की है किसी state ने, तो वो पर्टिकुलर इश्यूज पे क्या क्या उसका स्ट्रक्चर होगा, कैसे काम करेगा, क्या स्पेसिफिक रूल्स बनाएगा. सो दिस इज ऑल मेंशन्ड एंड दिस ऑल हैज टू बी डन इन द ट्रीटी. And treaties which are signed and agreed upon by the individual states, they are being conducted, experimented and executed through some treaty bodies. Treaty bodies के द्वारा उनको execute किया जाता है, and they are working through the committees of the independent experts who just monitor the implementation of this United Nations human rights treaties across the signatories. It's not only that the two individual states have participated, many states are there, they may be the party of that treaty. So in their states, whether they are following and what is the conduct they are doing, what are the particular issues they are tackling. So to monitor those things for the implementation of that treaty, there are certain committees which are working as the treaty bodies. For example, if we say that there is a human rights committee, and this human rights committee looks after and monitors the implementation of ICCPR, that is International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights, and its optional protocol. So whatever provisions are there in this ICCPR and whatever provisions are there in the optional protocol, this is the duty of the Human Rights Committee to look after those things. Then another committee which is working is the Committee on Social, Economic and Cultural Rights. So there is another covenant at the international level of the United Nations, that is the ICSCR, that is International Covenant on Economic, Social and Cultural Rights. So this is also having certain optional protocols, and this Committee on Economic, Social and Cultural Rights that that looks after and monitors through the independent experts the implementation of this human rights covenant. Then besides this Human Rights Committee, you see then there is a committee on the elimination of the racial discrimination. So this is another treaty body which looks into the matter of International Convention on the elimination of all forms of racial discrimination. So the provisions which are there in the racial discrimination, and the state parties who have signed that or who are the signatories of these racial discrimination convention, then this committee of the international expert bodies looks into this matter of the racial discrimination. रेशियल डिस्क्रिमिनेशन के संबंध में जो भी मामले हैं उसमें किस तरीके से इम्प्लीमेंट हो रहा है या नहीं हो रहा है, उसके लिए भी एक अलग कमेटी बनी हुई है, कमेटी ऑन एलिमिनेशन ऑफ रेशियल डिस्क्रिमिनेशन. Then there are conventions which are related to the women also, and very well known to everyone, that is the CEDAW. CEDAW, that is a convention, and there are certain optional protocols also for that. Which is being looked after by another treaty body that is known as the Committee on the Elimination of Discrimination Against Women. So what the countries are doing, what the state parties are doing, this committee looks into that particular matter. Then Committee Against Torture is also there, which is related to the Convention Against Torture, which includes the cruel, inhuman or degrading treatment with the human being. अगर किसी के साथ कोई दुर्व्यवहार हो रहा है, टॉर्चर हो रहा है, अत्याचार हो रहा है, कुछ अमानवीय घटनाएं हो रही हैं इस तरीके से, तो उनको किस तरीके से देखा जाएगा, इसके लिए भी एक कमेटी अगेंस्ट टॉर्चर बनी हुई है, which is also known as a treaty body. Then regarding child, because there is a convention on the rights of the child, and its optional protocol are also there. So one more committee, that is another treaty body, is that Committee on the Rights of Child, that is looking after the things. Then Committee on Migrant Workers is also there, because we have the International Convention on the Protection of the Rights of Migrant Workers and the members of their family also. It's not confined to the migrant workers, but to the family members of that of the migrant workers is also there. So this Committee on Migrant Workers looks into the matter. And finally, we have one more committee which has come very recently, that is working under the United Nations Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities. So the Committee on the Rights of the Persons with Disability works under UNCRPD and its optional protocol. So totally we see that 8 treaty bodies, they are working in the international level just to see and just to monitor the implementation of the convention provisions as well as the optional protocols. So we have this international instrument which is binding between the parties who are signatories. At the same time, they have to conduct their affairs according to the provisions of that particular covenant or convention, as case may be. Then the United Nations General Assembly has also adopted some declarations, like everybody must be aware about the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. And in the month of December only, we all commemorate the Human Rights Day on 10th December. So this Human Rights Declaration or the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, it is not having a binding force, because it is only a declaration. But you see that this Human Rights Declaration works for a normative ground as a soft law, because it's only a declaration. It is not binding legally on the parties concerned. And at the same time, one thing which is important about this declaration is that it is being respected by all the state concerned. They are following the principle of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, that is of 1948, as a soft law, as a normative ground, as a direction, as an instruction कि उसको एक एक इस तरीके से उसको माना जा रहा है कि ये हमारी एक गाइडलाइंस है, ह्यूमन राइट्स की एक बाइबल है कि अगर ये राइट्स कोई भी हैं तो उसका ठीक तरीके से प्रोटेक्शन हो. दे मस्ट बी रेस्पेक्टेड, दे मस्ट बी प्रोटेक्टेड, दे मस्ट बी प्रिवेंटेड, देयर शुड नॉट बी एनी violation of this universal declaration of human rights. So as soft law, they are working, they are well respected among the parties, state parties, and they are not binding. The reason being is that they are declaratory only. केवल घोषणाएं हैं ये, और ये घोषणाएं बाइंडिंग नहीं हो सकती हैं. सो लीगली बाइंडिंग होने के लिए जरूरी है कि वो ट्रिटी बॉडीज की तरीके से पार्टीज उसमें एंटर करें, उसमें सिग्नेटरी बने, उसको साइन करें फॉर्मली, एग्रीमेंट हो, और उसके बाद वो लागू होगा. लेकिन डिक्लेरेशंस आर नॉट लीगली बाइंडिंग. But you see, on the other hand, the conventions are also there. As I told you that there are so many international instruments which are treaties, declarations, and conventions. So these conventions are a group of binding legal means under the international law. So treaties are binding, conventions are binding, not the declarations. So we see that these conventions are multi-party treaties. In treaty, there may be one or two parties, but in conventions, there may be many parties. Various states may be the parties of that. It is known as the multi-party treaties, and that are designed to become legally binding. So treaties are legally binding between parties. Conventions are legally binding between multi-parties, also known as the treaty, but declarations are not binding because they are declarations only. So we see that the United Nations drafted the most important regime of human rights, which is known as the International Bill of Rights, which is setting out the entire spectrum or a broad spectrum of the rights. So each of the document that proclaims a list of the basic human rights, की basic हमारे मानव अधिकार क्या होंगे, वो पूरी सभी चीजें उनमें दी हुई हैं, which is known as the International Bill of Rights. So International Bill of Rights is a combination of 3 documents, 3 instruments. So first is UDHR, Universal Declaration of Human Rights. The second one is the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights, known as the ICCPR, and the third one is the International Covenant on Economic, Social, and Cultural Rights, ICESCR. So these 3 documents at international level, they are combinedly known as the International Bill of Rights. So each and every aspect which is related to civil and political rights, which is related to the economic rights, which is related to the social rights, cultural rights, everything you will find in these 3 documents and combinedly the International Bill of Human Rights. तो basic human rights क्या हैं, वो पूरी लिस्ट इन 3 डॉक्यूमेंट्स में दी गई है, जिसको सिंगली कहा जाता है इंटरनेशनल बिल ऑफ राइट्स. नाउ बिसाइड्स these rights, there are so many other international legal instruments. More than 80 or 85 legal instruments are there, जो है which are very, very specific in nature. They define, they establish, and they include the fundamental protections of human dignity and needs, and their freedoms also, such as regarding food, regarding housing, their privacy, the personal security of the persons, and their democratic participation also. So we find that there are many international legal instruments which are there, which defines so many rights for the for protection of the human dignity, for the protection of the human rights. These are the fundamental rights which are conferred upon in these various international legal instruments. So first of all, if we see that the basic right which is there available to every human being, and through which the very preamble to the United Nations Charter also speaks about, the Universal Declaration of Human Rights speaks about, the Vienna Declaration speaks about, that is the equality. So if we see Article 1 and 55 of the United Nations Charter, then we find that the word which are used there regarding human rights, they speaks about the इक्वालिटी और नॉन डिस्क्रिमिनेशन, कि किसी के बीच में कोई विभिन्नता, कोई विभेदता नहीं होगी, समानता का अधिकार सबको प्राप्त होगा. सो the very first preamble of the United Nations Charter that speaks about we the people of the United Nations. तो हम सब जो यूनाइटेड नेशंस के जो हम सदस्य हैं वो उनके लिए ये उपलब्ध है. इसमें किसी भी तरीके का कोई डिस्क्रिमिनेशन और कोई भी inequality की बात नहीं है. So what they are doing, they are affirming their faith in the fundamental human rights and the dignity of the common man, which is available to all the human persons, and they speak about the equal rights of men and women. किसी भी तरीके की there shall not be any discrimination or there cannot be any distinction as to the race, as to the sex, as to the language, as to the religion. So these are few grounds on the basis of which each individual, every man and woman, has been given this fundamental freedom and human rights which are available under the United Nations Charter, Article 1, and preamble also speaks about that. And in similar terms, इसी तरीके से अगर आप देखें तो जो यूनिवर्सल डिक्लेरेशन ऑफ ह्यूमन राइट्स 1948 का है, उसमें भी किस बात को कहा गया है आर्टिकल 1 में? आर्टिकल 1 स्पीक्स अबाउट द इक्वलिटी राइट्स और इक्वल इन डिग्निटी. ऑल ह्यूमन बीइंग्स आर बॉर्न फ्री. जितने भी ह्यूमन बीइंग्स हैं वो सब फ्री, उनका जन्म हुआ है, वो स्वतंत्र हैं. और स्वतंत्र किस में है? in their dignity and in their rights. वो अपने जो उनके rights हैं उसमें उनको स्वतंत्रता प्राप्त है, उनको इसमें समानता प्राप्त है. So Article 1 of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights speaks like that. Then if we see again, there was a Vienna Declaration which was adopted by the World Conference on Human Rights, which is related to the women rights also, and that also in their para 5 encourages to develop the respect for human rights and fundamental freedoms of all, and that too there should not be any distinction as to the race, sex, then language or religion. इन चारों ही grounds पे किसी भी तरीके का कोई भी कहना चाहिए कि distinction नहीं किया जा सकता है, असमानता नहीं की जा सकती है. So all the human rights are universal, they are indivisible, and they are interdependent and interrelated also. So you see that the human rights and fundamental freedoms, they are the birthrights of the human beings, and their protection and their promotion is the first responsibility of the government. So who has to look after all these things? This has to be seen by the respective governments कि वो अपने state में उन सभी फंडामेंटल राइट्स को, उनको फ्रीडम्स को फॉलो कर रहे हैं या नहीं कर रहे हैं. इन चीजों को देखना अपने आप में जरूरी है. Then besides the international regime of human rights law, you see there is an entire system of regional and domestic institutions and organizations also. International level पे, United Nations के लेवल पर तो ये चीजें हैं ही हैं, लेकिन साथ ही साथ अगर हम देखें तो ह्यूमन राइट्स लॉ का जो एक एक्सपेंशन है वो regional level पर भी है. African, American, Asia, so many regions they are also having the human rights documents and instruments besides domestic institutions and organization. अगर हम इंडिया की बात करें तो नेशनल ह्यूमन राइट्स कमीशन या हमारा जो लॉ है, so at regional level and at domestic levels also the institutions and the organizations, they are working for the protection of the human rights, for the prohibition of any of the violation of the human rights. So these regional and domestic institutions and the organizations, they provide a well-developed network and framework for the remedy. And they all articulate the application of human rights to the changing circumstances. जो भी समस्याएं हो रही हैं, समस्याएं, नई समस्याएं आ रही हैं, जो चीजें चेंज हो रही हैं, बदलाव हो रहा है, because you all know that life is not static. कि किसी भी चीज को हम स्टैटिक या एक जगह जड़ता के साथ, मूर्ता के साथ नहीं रख सकते, उसमें चेंजेस आते रहते हैं. एंड यू ऑल नो दैट द चेंज इज ऑलवेज देयर, हमेशा ही चेंजेस होते रहते हैं. तो in these situations, these domestic institutions, these regional institutions, at the same time the international institutions and organizations, they provide some guidelines, they provide the frameworks, they provide some remedy for this well-developed system, which is due to the changing circumstances, and that includes the technological developments also. क्योंकि जब हम डेवलपमेंट की बात कर रहे हैं तो अलग अलग तरीके के डेवलपमेंट्स हो रहे हैं, लेकिन उसी में एक डेवलपमेंट जो है वो टेक्नोलॉजी का भी. And we all know that this rapid development of science and technology that has had a very remarkable impact on human rights. Human rights के ऊपर एक बहुत बड़ा उसका प्रभाव है जो साइंस एंड टेक्नोलॉजी में जो बहुत तेजी से डेवलपमेंट हो रहे हैं. And we all can witness that the scientific and technologies have been developed through different industrial revolutions. ये तो हम सबको पता है कि साइंस और टेक्नोलॉजी कोई एक दिन का बदलाव नहीं है. जो चेंजेस और डेवलपमेंट आ रहे हैं वो किसी एक दिन में नहीं आए हैं, बल्कि उसमें फेजेस हैं, कई स्टेजेस में, कई स्टेप्स में उसको डेवलपमेंट के हम लोगों ने उसको व्यू किया है. And you see that this technology and scientific technology systems, they are growing with rapid pace. धीरे आगे बढ़ रहे हैं. तो एक समय में क्या क्या चीजें बदलाव हुई, उससे हमारे अधिकारों पे, मानव अधिकारों पे क्या इम्पैक्ट हुआ, क्या वो उनका वायलेशन हुआ, क्या उनका अपलिफ्टमेंट हुआ. So you see that these scientific and technological revolutions, if we divide them into different phases, then we find that the first industrial revolution took place during the 18th century. 18th century में एक पहला कह सकते हैं कि industrial revolution आया, and that focused on the mechanical production and steam power. जो पहला डेवलपमेंट था उसमें हमने देखा कि उसने जो फोकस किया वो मैकेनिकल डेवलपमेंट पर ज्यादा फोकस किया, स्टीम पावर पर ज्यादा फोकस किया. एंड दिस वाज द फेज वेयर द ह्यूमन बीइंग हैव शिफ्टेड फ्रॉम their reliance from the animal to the machines also, and from animal to various tools. धीरे धीरे क्या हुआ, जो फर्स्ट फेज 18th सेंचुरी का था उसमें जो लोग अपने से काम कर रहे थे उसको थोड़ा थोड़ा मशीनीकरण होना शुरू हो गया. और उस मशीनीकरण में जो एनिमल्स का यूज था उसको हमने मशीन से एक तरीके से कहना चाहिए समाप्त किया, और धीरे धीरे हम मशीनी युग में आए, हमारे हाथों में औजार आने शुरू हुए. So that was the first stage of the scientific and technological development, known as the first industrial revolution in the 18th century. Then second industrial revolution, that was the age of science and mass production. जो दूसरी इंडस्ट्रियल रेवोल्यूशन थी उसमें हमने देखा कि साइंस को बहुत ज्यादा बढ़ावा दिया गया और एक मास प्रोडक्शन के ऊपर काम ज्यादा किया गया. फॉर एग्जांपल, यू सी दैट इन द सेकंड इंडस्ट्रियल रेवोल्यूशन वी फाइंड द इंजन्स हैव बीन मैन्युफैक्चर्ड, द एरोप्लेन्स हैव बीन मैन्युफैक्चर्ड, एंड वेरियस केमिकल्स, फर्टिलाइजर्स, जो भी जो चीजें थी, केमिकल खादें आने लगी, ये सारी चीजें, these were all invented in this second phase, that is known as the second industrial revolution. तो टेक्नोलॉजी धीरे धीरे आगे बढ़े. तो ह्यूमन राइट्स की जहां तक बात है, अगर हम ये कहते हैं कि एनिमल्स को हटा के हम मशीनीकरण में और मशीन्स में आ गए, हमारे पास मोटर कार्स आ गए, तो ऐसे में ह्यूमन राइट्स हमारे वायलेट हुए या हमारे ह्यूमन राइट्स का प्रोटेक्शन हुआ. आई विल बी डिस्कसिंग दिस आफ्टर द 4 revolutions which we have been facing in the scientific and technological development. So the second phase, as I told you, was the age of science, and here we find that engines, aeroplanes, and other chemical fertilizers, these were all invented in this phase. Then came the third revolution, and in that third revolution, or in this third phase of this revolution, we find that digital technologies came in. The digital technologies like communication devices, the sophisticated computer systems, and the IT sector, I should say, that came into picture. पूरा जो third हमारा revolution है उसमें हमने computers को देखा, हमने उसमें communication के लिए telephones को देखा, mobile phones आने शुरू हो गए, जो IT के software systems थे वो धीरे धीरे आगे आने लगे. And now we are in the fourth industrial revolution, जो हमारा 4.0 इस समय चल रहा है, industrial revolution, technology revolution जिसको हम कहते हैं. So we are now coming across with today this new age system which is known as the automation technologies and artificial intelligence. इस समय जो हमारा phase चल रहा है वो किस पर चल रहा है? Automation का चल रहा है. इस समय हमारा phase चल रहा है artificial intelligence का phase चल रहा है, and this new age technologies have wide impact on the human beings. ये इसने सभी मानव जाति के ऊपर एक बहुत बड़ा कहना चाहिए प्रभाव छोड़ा है. And at this stage it becomes important to know more about technology to understand how technologies are impacting our human rights. So human rights की एक regime मैंने आपके साथ डिस्कस की, इंटरनेशनल लेवल पे, रीजनल लेवल पे, डोमेस्टिक लेवल पे हमारे लॉज हैं जो हमें हमारी फंडामेंटल फ्रीडम्स को, जो हमारे मानव अधिकारों को प्रोटेक्ट करने के लिए बनाए गए हैं, और जिसका बेस, जिसको हम कहते हैं फाउंडेशन है, उसका है फाउंडेशन है इक्वालिटी, फाउंडेशन है ह्यूमन डिग्निटी. तो अगर हम उस बेसिस पर आगे बढ़ते हैं और हम टेक्नोलॉजिकल डेवलपमेंट्स जो डिफरेंट फेजेस में हुए हैं और जो चल रहे हैं इस समय, उसका हमारे ऊपर क्या और संपूर्ण मानव जाति के ऊपर, उनके मानव अधिकारों के ऊपर क्या प्रभाव पड़ रहा है, तो उसको जानने के लिए मुझे लगता है एक नजर हमें ये भी जानना जरूरी है कि हम किस टेक्नोलॉजी की बात कर रहे हैं. व्हेन वी टॉक ऑफ द टेक्नोलॉजी, then the simple thing which comes to our mind is about our comfort, which comes that is related to the efficiency, that is related to the speed, automation and so on. जो 4 phases आपके साथ मैंने डिस्कस किए, उन सब से हमें क्या मिल रहा है? हमारे अपना कंफर्ट, जो हमारी एक हमारे को जो चीजें उपयोग करने के लिए जो हमें सहायता मिल रही है, हमारा कंफर्ट लेवल ऊपर बढ़ा रही है, वो टेक्नोलॉजी से आया. जो एफिशिएंसी है किसी काम को करने की, वो बढ़ गई है किस वजह से? टेक्नोलॉजी की वजह से. एक स्पीड लाइफ में आ गई है, एनिमल छोड़ के हम मशीन्स पे आ गए हैं, वो टेक्नोलॉजी की वजह से. और जो ऑटोमेशन, जो चीजें अपने आप ही हो रही हैं, अपने अपने स्वयं से हो रही हैं ऑटोमेशन. सो दीज आर ऑल द थिंग्स विच आर रिलेटेड टू आवर सिस्टम. Technology is something like that. So in simple terms, if we have to define technology, then we can say that technology is all about efficiency and speed. टेक्नोलॉजी क्या है? जो किसी काम को बहुत एफिशिएंटली कर ले, अच्छे से कर ले, उसको त्वरित रूप में कर ले, और साथ ही साथ उसमें स्पीड भी हो, उसमें गति भी हो, वो ठहराव ना हो, वो अपने गति से चलती रहे. कि अगर कोई मैनुअल हम कोई चीज कर रहे हैं तो वो हमारे को समय लग रहा है, लेकिन अगर टेक्नोलॉजी के यूज से हम उस चीज को कर रहे हैं तो वो अपने आप में, उसमें कहा जा सकता है कि एक गति दी गई है. दैट इज द टेक्नोलॉजी. सो सिंपली टेक्नोलॉजी इज अबाउट एफिशिएंसी एंड स्पीड. और वी कैन आल्सो से दैट टेक्नोलॉजी इज समथिंग व्हिच इज साइंस इन एक्शन. साइंस में तो आपके फॉर्मूले हैं, साइंस में आपकी थ्योरीज हैं, उन थ्योरीज को अप्लाइड वे में लाना, उन थ्योरीज को एक्शन के रूप में लाना, दैट इज टेक्नोलॉजी. साइंटिफिक इन्वेंशंस हो गए, साइंटिफिक आपके बहुत सारे, अगर कहना चाहिए कि लोगों ने उसमें इन्वेस्टिगेशंस कर लिए और नई नई चीजों को इजाद कर दिया. लेकिन जब हम उसको अप्लाइड फॉर्म में देखते हैं, जब हम उसको एक्शन में लाते हैं, देन दैट कम्स द टेक्नोलॉजी. सो टेक्नोलॉजी इज साइंस इन एक्शन ऑल्सो. इट इज द एप्लीकेशन ऑफ साइंटिफिक नॉलेज to the practical aims of human life. And we as human use technology to travel, we use technology to communicate, we use technology to learn new things, we use technology to do business and to live a life of comfort. आज की डेट में अगर हम देखें, हम टेक्नोलॉजी को कहाँ कहाँ इस्तेमाल कर पा रहे हैं? There are so many ways, but अगर हम उसको ब्रॉडली देखें तो ट्रेवल में हमारी टेक्नोलॉजी हो रही है, कम्युनिकेशन में हम टेक्नोलॉजी को यूज कर रहे हैं, हमारा लर्निंग एजुकेशन सिस्टम है उसमें हम टेक्नोलॉजी को यूज कर रहे हैं, बिजनेस में हम टेक्नोलॉजी को यूज कर रहे हैं. और जो हमारी एक लाइफ स्टाइल है, उस लाइफ स्टाइल में किस तरीके से कंफर्ट को हम ले सकते हैं, ज्यादा से ज्यादा आरामदायक चीजों को हम यूज कर रहे हैं, वो सारा ही सारा technology ही है. So we use all these technological gadgets, we use technology as a human being for our life to live it with a comfort. So technology in other way we can say has made our lives very very easy. Technology ने हमारे जीवन को बहुत आसान कर दिया है, बहुत इजी बना दिया है, हम यूज कर रहे हैं. Like transportation, education, learning process, medical, health care, And many other infrastructure businesses, if you see, there are areas which have been improved because of this technology. टेक्नोलॉजी की वजह से ये सारे एरिया हैं जिसमें बहुत ज्यादा इम्प्रूवमेंट विकास हुआ है, वो आगे बढ़े हैं, उनमें काफी उन्नति हुई है. So you see that this short-term course that is also being conducted by the use of technology. It is on the virtual mode. I am sitting in Lucknow. You are sitting at your different places from all over India. I don't know which is how many states you are belonging, how you are here, from which state you are here. So ये क्या है, ये सब टेक्नोलॉजी के यूज के द्वारा ही सब चीजें हैं जो आगे बढ़ रही है और हमारी लाइफ को इजी बना रही है. So technology is about ensuring face-to-face communication also. I'm speaking, you are listening to me, you are watching to me, I'm watching to you, everything is there. This is a communication which is possible only through this use of technology. So it helps us to keep in touch with people who are far away from us. It's not only to confine that हम इंडिया में ही इस चीजों को कर सकते हैं. I have been there in the international conferences also. You may also have participated in the international conferences also. तो बहुत दूर में बैठे हुए हैं, लेकिन टेक्नोलॉजी की वजह से ये पॉसिबल हो गया है that I can present a paper in Moscow, I can present a paper in Australia, Sydney, or in US, so many places. So this is because of the technology that we use these things. For example, we use phones and computers to talk them and even see them. हम उनको देख भी सकते हैं, उनसे बात भी कर सकते हैं. So technology has provided all these things. Then at the same time, technology also connects with our healthcare providers. It's not only the communication, but for other things also. You see that technology is also connecting us with our health care providers. It empowers us by giving more access and control to the kind of care we get and the services we receive. Now, you may be knowing that now there are online consultancy that is open through various doctors and consultants. If you are having some of the symptoms of any of the health issues, you can directly contact on telephone, you can contact through any of the mode of communication, and you can get good advice and prescription for your health issues. So these are the things. आपको कोई प्रॉब्लम है, कोई परेशानी है, हेल्थ केयर से संबंधित कोई मामला है, डॉक्टर से कंसल्ट कर सकते हैं टेलीफोनिकली, आप डॉक्टर से कम्युनिकेट कर सकते हैं, आप उनके साथ वीडियो कॉन्फ्रेंसिंग में आ सकते हैं. घर बैठे बैठे आपको प्रिस्क्रिप्शन आ सकता है, घर बैठे बैठे आपकी डेट बुक्स हो सकती है. सो दिस हैज ऑल बीन डन बाय द use of the technology. So what I am emphasizing to say is that our daily work, that is also technology based, whether it is the office work or work at the home or the business or the healthcare, communication, teaching, learning, education, any area, governance. This all is now based on the technology, and we are all using the technology. So to complete the work in this era, you see, when we are talking about the office work, then use of pen and paper is not required. You can enter into any meeting, you can work in that meeting, and you can type your approval, you can type your recommendation. There is no requirement of any pen and paper or any signature of yours. So technologically you are there, present in the meeting, and you can discuss the thing. So this is how the work nature is also changing with the use of the technology. And we see that technology is important because it makes us feel more secure with every area in life, for both personal and business reasons also. And with the technology advancing, more people are able to have access to the supplies such as the basic needs for the life, like fresh water, food, and so many things, because technology can help to deliver those items to the people that otherwise couldn't get it. And I think many of you, or I should say after pandemic lockdown, all of you must be aware about many more apps which serve your different needs, which serve the different purposes. Like घर में बैठे थे हम लॉकडाउन में, पैंडेमिक के समय पे, और बहुत सारी चीजें जो कि पहले हमें जानकारी नहीं थी, लेकिन बाद में धीरे धीरे बहुत से लोगों को जानकारी हुई। और मुझे लगता है कि आज की डेट में हर कोई ना कोई ऐप जरूर इस्तेमाल कर रहा होगा अपनी उन जरूरत की चीजों को लेने के लिए। उन जरूरत की चीजों को, चाहे पानी से लेके खाने तक, कपड़े पहनने से लेके आपके अपने और अलग ऐशो आराम की चीजों तक, हर चीज में आपका टेक्नोलॉजी का हाथ है। चाहे वो डिफरेंट एप्स के द्वारा भी हम उन चीजों को इस्तेमाल करते हैं। फॉर एग्जांपल, बिग बास्केट इज देयर, अमेजॉन इज देयर, जोमेटो, स्विगी, मिंत्रा एंड सो ऑन। many of the apps are there which are available, and we are all using those things. That is because of the technology. So technology basically includes everything from small needle to the aircraft and satellite. Technology के द्वारा ही एक सुई का निर्माण किया गया, और उसी के द्वारा एक एयरक्राफ्ट और सैटेलाइट का भी। तो ये अपने आप में वो basically we can say that it includes so many things. The wheels to the computers, medicines, buttons, clothes, everything, whatever we are wearing, whatever we are using, they are all the outcome of the technology. And some of the examples of the technology which we all use in one way or the other are like washing machines we are using, refrigerators we are using, cars we are using, flooring materials we are using, windows, door handles, locks, television, mobile, laptop, so many things which I could see, that chairs, tables, toys, and Alexa. So all these things are the tools and machines, and we are using all these things because these are the development of the science in the action to this technology. And these can be as simple as I told you, is a nail, एक छोटी सी कील भी हो सकती है, and it can be as complex as an accelerator. अगर हम कहीं किसी मॉल में जाते हैं और आजकल बड़े बड़े शॉप्स में भी जाते हैं, तो क्या हम एक्सीलेटर पे चलना होता है? वी डोंट यूज द स्टेयरकेस, हम स्टेयर्स को नहीं यूज करते, हम लिफ्ट को यूज करते हैं, हम एक्सीलेटर्स को यूज करते हैं. सो these are space stations are there. So all these things are but for the technology. So technology refers to the tools, technology refers to the machines, and it is a collection of the techniques that may be utilized to solve the real world problems, because it makes our life easy. As I told you earlier, technology has made our life easy, and this technology has evolved and shaped our workplaces in many ways. Though we see through the adoption of tools like the internet and the email for communications, the word processing, the spreadsheets, presentations, PPTs, and for all these office productivity, we are using electronic database and record keeping also. The robot and artificial intelligence for automation. So these are the things which we are all using. So technology is in today's scenario, in this fourth revolution, we find it that it is now coming to the automation, it is coming to the machinery, it is coming to the computer systems, it is coming to the mechanization of many things. Robots are coming up, telecommunication system have been enhanced, or simply put it like applied science. So in a broader way, technology is a means to fulfill a human purpose. Now, if I say that we can not use technology, or we will not use technology, then we cannot live our life in a way in which we are living. As I have discussed with you, many of the examples of technology, from pin to the space station and so on. Now it is important to know the different types of the technologies we use in our lives, but most of us are not knowing that. कि कितने तरीके की टेक्नोलॉजीज हो सकती हैं, और उन टेक्नोलॉजीज के द्वारा हमको क्या क्या वो चीजें हैं जिससे हम इस्तेमाल कर रहे हैं, ये जानना भी अपने आप में जरूरी है. तभी पता चलेगा कि वो ह्यूमन राइट्स के साथ किस तरीके से जुड़ी हुई. Now, first of all, very importantly, this is information technology. अगर हम बात करते हैं जो इंफॉर्मेशन टेक्नोलॉजी की, तो उसका क्या काम होता है? इंफॉर्मेशन टेक्नोलॉजी विच इज रिलेटेड टू this multimedia conferencing as we are doing now. E-commerce can be done through the information technology. Cloud computing can be done. Online banking is a part of the information technology. हर किसी के हाथ में मोबाइल फोन है, मोबाइल फोन से ही हम बैंक से अपना सारा लेन देन कर ले रहे हैं, ऑनलाइन बैंकिंग सिस्टम सब चल रहा है. दिस इज इंफॉर्मेशन टेक्नोलॉजी. स्पीच रिकॉग्निशन, देयर आर मेनी एप्स लाइक पॉकेट फॉर एग्जांपल, कि आपको कुछ पढ़ना भी नहीं है और आपको अपनी तरफ से देखना भी नहीं है, आप केवल उसको टेक्नोलॉजी के उस बटन को प्रेस कर दे, पॉकेट को, जो भी आपका पीडीएफ है, जो भी आपकी फाइल है, वो स्पीच रिकॉग्निशन वो आपको सुनाता चले जाएगा, तो वो आप सुन सकते हैं. और आप अगर किसी भी तरीके से आपके पास टाइम नहीं है, आप नहीं पढ़ रहे हैं, आप कोई दूसरा काम कर रहे हैं, यू कैन लिसन दैट. Then online advertisement, so many things which are being done online, that is through the information technology. Then communication technology is another type of the technology in which we use this LAN system, local area network, then video, text and teletext, internet, wireless information transfer also is there. A GPS system, that is global positioning system, everybody must be using while going to one place or other. अब वो जमाने नहीं रहे कि कहीं दुकान पे रुक के या पान के दुकान पे रुक के पूछते हैं कि वो एड्रेस कहाँ है. Now we use the GPS every time. So this is because of the technology, and we reach to the exact position, exact place where we want to go. So that is through this communication technology, this GPS system. So advances in the communication technologies in particular have changed our planet from a complex or we can say it is often chaotic puzzle of land-based territories to a supernatural virtual grid. It is not like that in India we are doing, so it's open for all, open for entire world. हर जगह हम इसका इस्तेमाल कर सकते हैं, कोई territories में चीजें बंधी नहीं है. तो वर्चुअल ग्रिड में हमें वो सारी चीजें दिखाई दे जाती हैं because of this communication technology, and in which we may speak more often and identify closely to the persons who are sitting hundred and thousands of miles at a distant place from us. They are not in our local community, but they are living to some other state. So this communication technology has made the life easy. जो हम टेलीफोन की बात कर रहे हैं, जो हम वर्चुअल कॉन्फ्रेंसिंग की बात कर रहे हैं, this all can be done through this communication technology. Then another form of the technology is electronics technology. जो इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स टेक्नोलॉजी है, इसका भी हम बहुत ज्यादा इस्तेमाल करते हैं. फॉर एग्जांपल स्मार्टफोन्स, डिजिटल कैमरास आर देयर, देन interactive sensors are there which are being made by this electronic technology. Computers, of course, laptops, computers are the part of this electronic technology. Then this radar system, because we are also moving towards various nuclear type of things. So these are all the things which are being made by the use of the electronic technology. Then in medical technology, there are various things which we use, like the doctors, they use the pacemakers, the ventilators, the stethoscope, scanners, CT scanners, and all these surgical robots are also coming up. So this is a part of the medical technology, which is also making our life easy. Then in mechanical system, we find there is a mechanical technology, and through which the manufacturing of the cars, the mechanical robots, the printers, 3D printers, these are all the part of this mechanical technology. So I'm not giving you the entire list, but just giving you some of the examples of these different type of the technologies which we use in our daily life. And then biotechnology. The production of the biological weapons, for that we use the biotechnology for creating organic products like milk, baking bread, using microorganism. All these things, they are coming from the biotechnology. The extraction of the metals from their ores, जो उसमें से खुदाई करके हम metals निकालते हैं, और उसके बाद हम किस तरीके से लिविंग ऑर्गेनिज्म का भी हम यूज करते हैं. These are all the part of the biotechnology. Then nuclear technology is there, which is related to this radiotherapy, smoke detectors. आजकल बड़ी बड़ी मल्टी स्टोरीज बिल्डिंग बने हुए हैं, और होटल्स में भी खास करके हम देखें तो छोटे छोटे से कॉरिडोर्स, और उसमें से निकलना, तो किस तरीके से इन केस ऑफ एनी एक्सीडेंट लाइक फायर, अगर उसमें एक्सप्लोजन होता है तो स्मोक डिटेक्टर्स, दीज आर वर्किंग. देन प्रोडक्शन ऑफ सम इलेक्ट्रिकल एनर्जी और स्टेरिलाइजेशन एक्सेट्रा, रेडियोस्कोपिक. तो ये क्या है, थर्मल जनरेटर्स, ये सब किस चीज के लिए हैं, जिनका स्पेस में भी हम यूज करते हैं. सो ऑल दीज आर कमिंग फ्रॉम द न्यूक्लियर technology. Then lastly we have another technology which is known as the materials technology. And इसमें हम देखते हैं कि बहुत सारे जो सैटेलाइट्स वर्क कर रहे हैं, या सेल्फ हीलिंग कोटिंग्स यूज जो है मेटल प्रोडक्ट्स के, उन सबको यूज करते हैं. दैट इज थ्रू दी materials technology. So there are some 8-9 types of the technologies which are working, and these are producing many of the things for ourselves, and we are using that as a human being. So in these different shades of technology, we live a life of comfort or difficulty, with all their positive and negative aspects or negative impacts also. कि किस तरीके से हम कर रहे हैं इस्तेमाल, उससे हमारे पास पॉजिटिव इम्पैक्ट भी आ रहा है, उससे हमारे ऊपर नेगेटिव इम्पैक्ट भी आ रहा है. सो वी सी दैट besides these various technological uses, we are living in a country which is a democratic nation, and ours is a welfare state also. And in this era of the digital governance, which is upon us, in high and middle income countries like ours, we find the use of digital technology like electronic voting is there, facial recognition system is there for various purposes, the online submission of the tax returns, that it has become a norm for today's scenario. So digitalization in justice delivery system, we are coming across with the robot lawyers and judges. Artificial intelligence का इस्तेमाल हो रहा है, और उसके अकॉर्डिंगली हम देखते हैं कि एक तरीके के केसेस हैं, एक तरीके की फैक्ट सिचुएशंस हैं, उनमें किस तरीके का डिसीजन होगा. तो जो जजेस का काम है थ्रू आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस, दैट कैन बी डन. रोबोट लॉयर्स भी आ चुके हैं कई स्टेट्स में अगर देखा जाए तो जस्टिस डिलीवरी सिस्टम है, उसका भी डिजिटलाइजेशन हो रहा है. ऑनलाइन FIR लिखाए जा रहे हैं, ऑनलाइन इंक्वायरीज हो रहे हैं, ऑनलाइन conferencing के through judgments आ रहे हैं. So what we see that in this digital governance, whether it is related to the executive, it is related to the judiciary system. So all these things, they are coming up or using the technology. And automotive systems are not very far behind us. We'll find very recently that the robot judges would also be there. हो सकते हैं कि वो लोग भी आ जाए. So these are all access to the government services. That is also a part of the welfare state. जो welfare state सामाजिक कल्याणकारी राज्य में हम लोग रह रहे हैं, तो आम आदमी के लिए, ह्यूमन बीइंग के लिए जो स्टेट सर्विसेज हैं, जो उनकी लार्जेस्ट हैं, जो घोषणाएं हैं, जो वो देते हैं सामान लोगों को, उनके द्वारा भी we use through this technology like food distribution, access to education, healthcare, special services for those who are aging, that is senior citizens, or for those who are disabled persons. तो हम हर किसी के लिए we are going for that, and in a way we can say that we are moving towards a digital welfare state. जो हमारा वेलफेयर स्टेट का कंसेप्ट है, और पिछले 2 साल में खास करके पैंडेमिक के समय में क्या ये डिजिटल वेलफेयर स्टेट के रूप में आगे बढ़ चुका है. So they're all coming up in many other countries, and we are also the part of that globe, and we are also using it as a result of the use of technology. Social protections and this assistance systems are increasing because of this digital data. Online, as I told you, FIR system is there. Then contact with the NGOs are some of the examples which we find these are working. Then technology is used to automate, to predict, to identify all these things. These are all the part of the system of the governance. So we know that the internet and other technologies are critical tools to defend our rights. But technology can also be used in ways that curtail the rights and deepen inequality. अभी तक जो कुछ भी मैंने आपको बताया, मैंने कहा कि हमारे जो इंटरनेशनल ह्यूमन राइट्स लॉ है, इंटरनेशनल ह्यूमन राइट्स इंस्ट्रूमेंट है, they speak about equality. They speak that there cannot be any distinction on the basis of race, sex, language, religion. But when we use this technology, then we find that to some extent our rights are curtailed. उनको कम भी हो रहे हैं, वो कट भी रहे हैं, और कहीं ना कहीं वो inequality की तरफ भी आगे बढ़ रहे हैं. So what we see that this rapid development in the artificial intelligence, that is the fourth revolution or the fourth industrial revolution we are talking about, and this automation, robotics, they raise a serious question about potential adverse human rights impact on the future of work. हमारा क्या वर्क फ्यूचर रहेगा, हम किस तरीके से उस पर काम करेंगे. कहीं ना कहीं ये जो रैपिड डेवलपमेंट हो रहा है इस आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस का या ऑटोमेशन का, ये एक इम्पैक्ट हमारे राइट्स के ऊपर डालता है. पर्टिकुलरली when we talk about with reference to the rights of the workers, the employability issues, we all know that in India we are having the large population where we find that many of these they are unemployed. The workers, they are not getting their rights, and particularly for the last 2 years the migrant laborers, they are now been retrenched. उनको services उनकी कम कर दी गई है, निकाल दिया गया है. They are not in jobs. तो employability issues जो हैं बढ़े हुए हैं हमारी इस poverty में, जहाँ पर हम देखते हैं अपने देश में. तो ऐसी स्थिति में जो आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस, ऑटोमेशन एंड रोबोटिक्स, जो फोर्थ इंडस्ट्रियल रेवोल्यूशन है, वो किस तरीके से हमारे राइट्स पर, हमारे जो वर्कर्स हैं उनके राइट्स पर, जो एम्प्लॉयबिलिटी इश्यूज हैं उनके राइट्स पर किस तरीके से वो एक इम्पैक्ट डाल रहा है. सो वी सी दैट human rights basically that govern the relationship between the state and the individual. जो एक राइट्स की अगर हम बात करते हैं तो वो स्टेट और इंडिविजुअल के बीच में है, एंड दीज आर द राइट्स व्हिच आर अवेलेबल अगेंस्ट द स्टेट. द स्टेट हैज एन ऑब्लिगेशन टू सिक्योर द राइट्स, टू प्रोटेक्ट द राइट्स. स्टेट का होता है. अगर हम अपने संविधान को भी देखें, वी फाइंड दैट द फंडामेंटल राइट्स आर अवेलेबल अगेंस्ट द स्टेट, बारिंग अ फ्यू. एक दो अगर हम छोड़ दें, अनटचेबिलिटी है जिसमें इस तरीके का कोई राइट है, तो वो पर्सन के अगेंस्ट प्राइवेट पर्सन भी हमें अवेलेबल है, लेकिन maximum of the rights are available against the state. Similarly, the human rights, that is being governed through the relationship between the state and the individual. अगर individual का कोई right hamper हो रहा है तो वो state के against claim कर सकता है. But technological developments introduce some new actors to the human rights framework. जो हमारा टेक्नोलॉजिकल डेवलपमेंट है उसमें एक नई तरीके की चीजें हमें सामने आ रही है कि उसमें हमेशा स्टेट ही रेस्पॉन्सिबल नहीं होगा, स्टेट पर ही ऑब्लिगेशन नहीं है. ह्यूमन राइट्स फ्रेमवर्क में कुछ न्यू एक्टर्स दे हैव बीन कमिंग अप, दे हैव बीन इंट्रोड्यूस्ड बिकॉज ऑफ दिस टेक्नोलॉजिकल डेवलपमेंट. एंड टुडे वी फाइंड दैट टेक्नोलॉजिकल एडवांसमेंट्स आर they are in rise of the, there is a rise of the artificial intelligence and machine learning in particular, that has necessitated the interaction, collaboration and coordination with leaders and business and technology. ये केवल अब स्टेट तक कन्फाइंड नहीं रह गया है, बल्कि बिजनेस सिस्टम पर और जो टेक्नोलॉजिकल डेवलपमेंट्स हो रहे हैं, जो लोग उसको डेवलप कर रहे हैं, उनके ऊपर भी ये चीजें अब लागू होती हैं कि वो किस तरीके से इन ह्यूमन राइट्स का वायलेशन कर रहे हैं या उसको प्रिवेंट कर रहे हैं. So in addition to government, now we can say that the role which was confined to the government to ensure rights and justice, now this has now been extended towards some business leaders, at the same time to the technological leaders also. And there is also growing recognition that the private sectors does have the obligations under the human rights law. As we find that the human rights network or the entire United Nations framework on the human rights that outline the protect, respect and remedy very authoritatively. हर जगह अगर आप देखें कि ह्यूमन राइट्स को क्या करना है, तो ह्यूमन राइट्स को प्रोटेक्ट करना है, ह्यूमन राइट्स को रेस्पेक्ट करना है, और जहां जहां उनका वायलेशन हो रहा है वहां रेमेडी देनी है. सो ऑल दीज थिंग्स हैव टू बी डन बाय द स्टेट. जो सिंपल अगर हम देखते हैं लीगल फॉर्म में, तो अगर कहीं कोई वायलेशन हो रहा है, कहीं कोई रेमेडी प्रदान करनी है, देन द स्टेट हैज टू कम forward for giving the remedy to protect the rights, to respect the human rights of the common man. But because of the use of technology, there are other actors also who are coming in between, and because of them the human rights are being violated, where state has no action to do. जहाँ पर state का कोई काम नहीं है, उसके बावजूद अगर इस तरीके की चीजें हो रही हैं, suppose A and B, two individual, A ने B का खाता हैक कर लिया, A ने B का किसी तरीके से कोई साइबर क्राइम किया. So here you see that that private individual is also coming into picture. New actors are also coming into picture. Business को लेकर private है, उसने business अपना employment से निकाल दिया. So there are a case of not of the state directly, but between the two persons. The one is the businessman, other is the common man, whose human rights are being violated because of the use of technology. So we see that whether our current policies, our legal systems, the documentation and the advocacy strategies which we are having are sufficient to reduce the human rights risk or human rights violation or not. Because the risk that may result, we know that and many of still which are unknown to us. बहुत सारी ऐसी चीजें हैं, risk हैं, violation है जो हमें पता चल गए by the use of technology. लेकिन अभी भी बहुत सारी ऐसी चीजें हैं जो अभी हमें पता ही नहीं है. Near future we can face those type of the violation of our rights also. धीरे धीरे किसको पता था कि इस तरीके के साइबर क्राइम होंगे, किसको पता था कि साइबर थेफ्ट होगा, किसको पता था कि इस तरीके से ऑनलाइन जो है वो लोगों के ऊपर अत्याचार हो सकते हैं, किसको पता था ये पैंडेमिक इस तरीके से आएगा और लेबर्स और एम्प्लॉयमेंट का इस तरीके से नुकसान होगा. सो देयर आर सो मेनी रिस्क्स बाय यूज ऑफ द टेक्नोलॉजी. एट द सेम टाइम there are many of the risks with which we are not aware about up till this time. So we see that technology which can be used as a powerful force in support of human rights. At the same time, we find that there are certain risks also which can be associated with the technologies for the fulfillment of the human right. So the question is how the new technologies such as artificial intelligence, automation, blockchain, because I'm talking of the business also, are impacting the human rights of the people. Can we ensure that technological advances do not aggravate inequality, particularly among the most marginalized people? And the role of technologies and its impact on sustainable development, because we are living in the surroundings where these technologies, use of these technologies, this mechanical system, the motor vehicles and other things, and they are also impacting our environment. So what is the role of these technologies and what is the impact of these technologies on the sustainable development? Then how internet and at the same time the social media is impacting our human rights, because when we talk about the internet, then the first thing that comes to the mind is that social media. So how this internet, how this social media is impacting our human rights? Can these technologies be used for the promotion and the protection of the human rights, for the betterment to establish the human rights, or to worsen or to violate the human rights? So there are many questions, and which of course need to be answered in the existing human rights framework. So I think that in the next lecture, I would be throwing some light on what are the basic human rights, on how these technologies we can use in that, and at the same time what technology is making impact either in positive way or in a negative way. So whether we should use that or not. But there are certain rights, for example, right to privacy, right to education, right to standard living, right to internet access also as one of the rights. So there are so many rights on which I'll be discussing in my next lecture. But for this time, this is the human rights and how the technologies are working and how it is making the impact on each other. So human rights and technology. So in my next lecture, I'll be talking on different rights, different human rights, and then the impact of technology and internet also. So for this, if there is any question, then you can ask me for this lecture.
Yes, I request all the participants, if you have any queries, you can ask ma'am, or you can give also your valuable comments.